The first time I met a human, I thought they were joking. My name is Vaughn Calix, senior astrophysicist aboard the Coalition research vessel Meridian's Grace. I had spent 300 cycles studying gravitational anomalies, stellar drift patterns, and the fundamental laws that held our galaxy together. I was good at my job. No, scratch that. I was exceptional at my job. And then the humans showed up and made me question everything I knew about physics, common sense, and the basic will to survive. It started on a Tuesday. Well, not a Tuesday exactly, we don't have those on my homeworld of Kelthara. But the humans were obsessed with their calendar systems, so let us just say it was their version of a perfectly mundane, unremarkable day. I was reviewing drift calculations in my lab when Captain Torvaz, our ship's commander, a stern Vraxian with 4 eyes and absolutely zero patience for nonsense, he summoned me to the observation deck. "Calix," she said, her voice crackling through my comm unit. "Get up here. Now." "Captain, I'm in the middle of recalibrating the—" "Now, Calix." I sighed, dropped my datapad, made my way through the winding corridors of our ship, nodding at crew members as I passed. The Meridian's Grace housed 47 researchers from 12 different species, all of us dedicated to understanding the cosmos. We were scientists, professionals. We did not get rattled easily. When I reached the observation deck, I found Captain Torva standing at the viewport with her arms crossed, all 4 eyes fixed on something outside. Next to her stood Lieutenant Rexis, our tactical officer, and Dr. Mina Teresh, the ship's xenobiologist. They all wore the same expression, confusion mixed with something that might have been horror. "What am I looking at?" I asked, stepping up to the viewport. Captain Torvas pointed. "Them." I followed her gaze and saw a human vessel. It was small, maybe a tenth the size of our ship, boxy, inefficient-looking, held together with what appeared to be welded patches and optimistic thinking. 3 humans floated outside the ship in their pressure suits, working on the exterior hull. "Okay," I said slowly. "So the humans are here." "We knew they joined the Coalition last year. Is there a problem?" "Watch," Torvas said. One of the humans, the one with bright orange stripes on their suit, appeared to be arguing with someone inside the ship. Their voice came through on the open comm channel. "Marcus, I'm telling you, the coupling is shot. We need to replace the entire assembly." A male voice responded from inside the ship. "Jamie, we don't have a replacement assembly. We are 3 weeks from the nearest station." "Then we will make one," Jamie said, as if this was the most reasonable thing in the universe. There was a long pause. "Make one," Marcus repeated. "You want to manufacture a gravitic coupling assembly. Out here, in space. With what equipment?" "We have got the fabricator, the welding torch, and Randy's got that box of spare parts." Randy's box of spare parts is literally a box of random junk he refuses to throw away. "Exactly," Jamie said. "So we have got options." I blinked all 3 of my eyes in sequence, a Keltharan expression of deep confusion. Did that human just suggest building a critical ship component from garbage? "Wait," Dr. Teresh said. "It gets better." The 3rd human, presumably Randy, drifted into view holding what indeed appeared to be a box of mechanical refuse. He pulled out a broken servo, examined it, tossed it over his shoulder into the void, then pulled out what looked like part of a food preparation device. "How about this?" Randy asked. Jamie took it, turned it over, held it up to their helmet light. Yeah, I can work with this. Hand me the torch." "They are not serious," I said. "They are completely serious," Captain Torvas replied. For the next 2 hours I watched 3 humans cobble together a working gravitic coupling from spare parts, a kitchen appliance, what appeared to be part of a chair, and sheer audacity. They argued the entire time. They made jokes about the statistical likelihood of explosive decompression. They sang songs. "This is insane," I muttered. "This is humanity," Dr. Teresh said. She sounded almost admiring. When they finished, Jamie held up their creation. It looked like something a child might build from scrap metal. Marcus, fire it up. If this kills us all, I'm haunting you, Marcus said. There was a hum, then a whine, then a sound that made my sensory organs hurt. But the coupling engaged. The human ship's engines came online. They had actually done it. Well, Captain Torvas said, that was unexpected. That was 6 months ago. Now, I wish I could go back to that moment of simple confusion. Because what happened next made their improvised repair job look like a basic maintenance task. The humans had been invited to join our research expedition through the Karvan sector. It was a routine survey mission. We were mapping gravitational fields, documenting stellar phenomena, updating navigation charts. But boring work. Safe work. At least it was supposed to be safe. Calyx, are you seeing this? Dr. Teresh's voice snapped me out of my memory. I looked at my display screen and felt my breathing tubes constrict. That's not possible. What's not possible? Captain Torvas asked, moving to look over my shoulder. The star, I said, pointing at the readings. Karvan Primary. It's moving. Stars don't move, Torvas said. Not like that. Not that fast. I'm aware of that, Captain. I wrote 2 papers on stellar dynamics. But according to these readings, Karvan Primary has shifted 0.003 degrees off its projected position in the last 6 hours. Rexus pulled up his own display. Calyx is right. And it's accelerating. Current projections show it will intersect with the Karvan belt in 42 hours. The Karvan belt, Dr. Teresh said quietly, where the human colony ship is stationed. My stomach, or the Keltheran equivalent of a stomach, dropped. The humans had sent a colony ship to the Karvan belt 3 months ago. 2,000 colonists. Men, women, children. They were building a mining operation on one of the larger asteroids, planning to extract rare elements for their expanding industrial base. If the star's trajectory continued, the radiation wave alone would sterilize everything in the belt. Get the humans on comms, Torvas ordered. Tell them to evacuate. Now. It took 6 minutes to establish contact with the colony ship. A human woman appeared on the screen. She had short, dark hair, sharp eyes, and the name tag on her uniform read Commander Lisa Brennan. Commander Brennan, Torvas said, we are detecting a stellar drift event. Karvan Primary is moving into your sector. You need to evacuate immediately. Brennan's expression didn't change. How long do we have? 42 hours. Maybe less. Our colony ship's engines need 72 hours to charge for a full system jump. We can't evacuate. Go. Then abandon the colony ship. Use your shuttles. Spread out. We will coordinate rescue operations. Captain Torvas, Brennan said calmly. We have 2,000 people here, mostly families. We have 300 shuttles, each with a capacity of 4 people. Do the math. I did the math. My blood turned cold. You can save 1,200 people, I said. I'm aware, Brennan replied, which means I'm not leaving 800 people behind. Commander, be reasonable. Some lives are better than no lives. Brennan smiled. It was not a happy smile. You have never met many humans, have you, Dr. Calyx? Before I could respond, another voice broke through the comms. It was Marcus from the human research ship. Lisa, this is the Defiant Hope. We are reading the same data. What do you need? A miracle, Brennan said. Or about 30 hours. How about we try something stupid instead? Brennan laughed. Actually laughed. I'm listening. What if we move the star back? Marcus asked. The entire bridge of the Meridian's Grace went silent. I'm sorry, Captain Torvas said. Did you just suggest moving a star? Look, Marcus said, I know how it sounds. But we have got gravitic tethers on the Defiant Hope. They are designed for asteroid mining, but the principle is the same. We generate a gravitational field, attach it to a large mass, pull the mass where we want it to go. A star, I said slowly, is not an asteroid. A star is a massive fusion reactor with a gravitational field that would tear your ship apart before you got within tethering range. Probably, Marcus agreed cheerfully. But what if we don't go it alone? What if we get every ship in the sector to help? You are talking about coordinating dozens of vessels to generate enough gravitational force to counteract stellar drift, I said. The energy requirements alone would be astronomical. The risk of gravitational shear would destroy half the ships involved. And even if you somehow manage to create sufficient force, the probability of success is infinitesimally small. So you are saying there's a chance, Marcus said. That's not what I'm in, Brennan said. Commander, please think about this rationally, Torvas began. Captain Brennan interrupted. I have got 800 people who are going to die if I think rationally. So I'm going to think like a human instead. Marcus, send me your plan. Let's do something impossible. Over the next 3 hours, I watched humanity make a mockery of everything I understood about physics and probability. Marcus transmitted his plan to every ship in the sector. 23 vessels responded. 14 were human ships, small research vessels, cargo haulers, and 2 military frigates that happened to be passing through. 9 were coalition vessels, including the Meridian's Grace. Captain Torvas looked at me. Calix, what are the odds this works? Honestly, less than 1%. The gravitational calculations alone require synchronization down to the microsecond. One ship pulls too hard, too soft, or at the wrong angle, and we create a cascade failure that could tear apart every vessel involved. So we definitely shouldn't do this. Absolutely not. Torvas tapped her comm unit. This is Captain Torvas of the Meridian's Grace. We are in? Send us the coordinates. Captain, I protested. She turned to me, all 4 eyes serious. Calix, I have been in space for 40 years. I have seen a lot of impossible things. But I have never seen an entire species refuse to accept reality when reality tells them someone is going to die. Maybe we should learn something from that. The plan was insane. Each ship would position themselves around Carvon Primary in a carefully calculated pattern. On Marcus's signal, we would all engage our gravitational tethers simultaneously, creating a web of gravitational force around the star. Then, together, we would pull. The human word for this was tug-of-war. Except instead of a rope, we were using the fundamental forces of the universe. And instead of a flag in the middle, we were fighting against stellar dynamics that had been in motion for billions of years. Jamie's voice came through the comms, directing the positioning. Defiant Hope is taking point at coordinates Alpha 1. Meridian's Grace, you are at Beta 7. Mining Hauler Prosperity, swing around to Delta 3. This is the Prosperity, a human voice responded. We are a cargo ship. We haul rocks. Are you sure about this? Nope, Jamie said. But we are doing it anyway. Good enough for me. I monitored the positioning from my station, making micro-adjustments to our gravitational field generators. Every ship had to be precisely placed. Too close, and we'd be pulled into the star's gravity well. Too far, and our tethers wouldn't have enough force. All ships in position, Jamie reported. Charging gravitational tethers. This is going to take everything we have got. Divert all non-essential power to the tethers. Life support to minimum. Engines to standby. If your coffee maker is still on, turn it off. Did they just tell us to turn off our coffee makers? Rexis asked. Bet. Focus, Torvas snapped. Tethers charged, Jamie continued. On my mark, engage at 40% power. We are going to ease into this. If we pull too hard too fast, we will either rip the star apart or rip ourselves apart. Neither is ideal. Mark. I felt the ship shudder as our gravitational generators engaged. On my screen, I could see energy readings spiking across all 23 vessels. We were creating an artificial gravitational field strong enough to affect stellar mass. This was either going to be the greatest achievement in astrophysics history or the dumbest way anyone had ever died. Holding at 40%, Jamie said. Star is responding. Drift velocity decreasing by 0.001%. That's nothing, I said. We need at least a 3% decrease to matter. Then I guess we need more power, Marcus said. All ships increased to 60%. The Meridian's Grace groaned. Alarms started blaring. Our gravitational generators were never designed to operate at this intensity. Captain, we are overheating, Rexus reported. And excess heat into space, Torvaz ordered. Keep those generators running. Drift velocity decreasing by 0.004%, Jamie reported. We are having an effect, but it's not enough. We need to go higher. The ships can't take it, I said. 80% power will burn out half our generators. Then we will go to 85%, Marcus said. Are you insane? Yes, Marcus replied. Also desperate. Commander Brennan, how much time do we have? 20 hours, Brennan's voice came through, steady despite everything. And counting. All ships, Marcus said. Push to 85%. If your generators blow, shut down and get clear. Everyone else, hold the line. This is suicide, I whispered. No, Dr. Tersch said, her eyes fixed on the display. This is humanity. One by one, the ships increased power. The Prosperity's starboard generator exploded, but they kept pushing with their port side. A Vraxian research vessel lost gravitational containment and had to drop out. But the rest held. And the star slowed. Drift velocity decreasing, I said, watching the numbers. 0.1%. 0.2. 0.5. It's working, Rexus breathed. Don't celebrate yet, Jamie said. We have slowed it down, but we haven't stopped it. And we definitely haven't pushed it back. Marcus, we need more ships or more power. We are out of ships, Marcus said. So I guess we need more power. We are already at 85%. I shouted. The generators will explode. Then we go to 90% before they do, Marcus replied. Commander Brennan, do you trust me? There was a pause. Then Brennan's voice came through, calm and certain. With my life. With all our lives. Good, because I need you to do something crazy. Disengage your colony ship's engines from standby. Route all power to your gravitational field generators. Then sync your frequency to ours. Marcus, our generators aren't designed for tethering. We are a colony ship. I know, but right now we need every ounce of gravitational force we can get. Can you do it? Another pause. Give me 5 minutes. Those were the longest 5 minutes of my life. I watched the star's trajectory. Calculated. Recalculated. Even with the colony ship's help, we were still short. Not by much. Maybe 2 or 3%. But in physics, close doesn't count. Colony ship generators online, Brennan reported. We are synced to your frequency. But Marcus, I need you to understand something. If we push our generators this hard, they are going to fail. We won't have jump capability. We won't be able to leave even if we survive this. One problem at a time, Lisa, Marcus said. All ships. This is it. 90% power. Give me everything you have got. On my mark. 3, 2, 1. Mark. The Meridian's Grace screamed. Alarms rang out across every deck. I could hear the generators straining, metal groaning, energy systems pushed far beyond their safety limits. On my screen, 23 ships burned with gravitational force. And in the center of it all, a star, ancient and massive, fought against us. For 10 seconds, nothing changed. Then, impossibly, the star began to move. Drift velocity decreasing, I said, my voice shaking. 2%, 4%. 6%. Come on, Marcus whispered. Come on, come on, come on, come here. 10%, I continued. 15, 20. The star's trajectory is shifting, Jamie said. It's actually shifting. Don't stop, Marcus said. Keep pushing. We are not done yet. Generators at critical temperature, Rexus reported. I don't care, Torva said. Keep them running. 30% decrease, I said. 40, 50. And then, through the comms, I heard Marcus say the words that would echo through coalition history. One more push. Everyone! One more push. 23 ships, held together by hope and human stubbornness, pulled at a star. And the star moved. Trajectory corrected, I announced, barely believing the words. Carvon Primary is returning to its original path. The colony is safe. For a moment, there was silence. Then the comms exploded with cheers, whoops, laughter, and what sounded like someone crying. We did it, Brennan said, her voice thick with emotion. You absolute lunatics. You actually did it. Never doubted it for a second, Marcus lied. Liar, Jamie said, laughing. I saw you stress eating protein bars. That was strategic energy consumption. As the relief washed over me, I pulled up the damage reports. 7 ships with destroyed generators, 14 with critical system failures. The colony ship would need months of repairs, but everyone was alive. Dr. Kalex, Captain Torvas said, turning to me. You said the odds of success were less than 1%. They were, I replied. And yet, here we are. Yes, here we are. She smiled, showing far too many teeth. Perhaps you need to recalculate your formulas. I don't think they account for the human factor. I looked at the view screen, at the star that had moved because a species looked at the impossible and said one more push. And I realized that Captain Torvas was absolutely right. My formulas definitely needed work. The aftermath of moving a star was, predictably, complicated. 3 days after what the humans were now calling the Carvon push, I found myself in a coalition emergency session trying to explain to a panel of very angry bureaucrats how 23 ships had violated approximately 47 safety regulations, broken 16 laws of acceptable gravitational manipulation, and somehow not killed everyone in the sector. Dr. Kalex, the head counselor, a Threxian named Supervisor Gormath, said through clenched mandibles, You are an astrophysicist, a scientist. You understand the fundamental laws of the universe. Can you please explain to this council why you participated in this reckless, dangerous, utterly insane stunt? I looked at the council members, 12 species, all of them staring at me with expressions ranging from fury to disbelief. Because it worked, I said simply. Gormath's eye stalks quivered with rage. That is not an acceptable answer. With respect, Supervisor, it is the only answer that matters. 2,000 colonists are alive because 23 ship captains decided that physics was more like a suggestion than a law. Physics is not a suggestion. Gormath shouted. Tell that to the humans, I replied. Before Gormath could respond, the council chamber doors opened. Captain Torvas walked in, followed by Marcus, Jamie, and Commander Brennan. The humans looked tired but unbowed. Torvas looked ready to bite someone's head off. Supervisor Gormath, Torvas said, her voice cold. I received your summons. I assume you want to thank us for preventing a catastrophic loss of life? Thank you, Gormath sputtered. Captain, you endangered dozens of ships, violated safety protocols, and manipulated stellar bodies without proper authorization. Do you have any idea what could have gone wrong? Yes, Torvas said. Everyone could have died. But everyone didn't die. In fact, 0 people died. Which is significantly better than the 2,000 deaths we were facing. Marcus stepped forward. Look, I get it. We broke the rules. But sometimes the rules are stupid. The rules, Gormath said slowly, are designed to keep people safe. Safe and dead is still dead, Jamie interjected. We chose safe and alive. Sorry if that's inconvenient for your paperwork. I watched Gormath's face turn an impressive shade of purple. The human delegation was not helping their case. But I had spent enough time with humans now to understand something fundamental about them. They did not care about the rules when lives were at stake. The hearing dragged on for 4 more hours. Gormath presented evidence of safety violations. Torvas countered with survival statistics. Marcus made jokes that nobody found funny except the other humans. Jamie fell asleep in their chair. Finally, Gormath slammed his appendage on the table. Enough. This council will deliberate and issue its judgment within the week. Until then, all involved vessels are confined to dock. Dismissed. As we filed out of the chamber, Commander Brennan fell into step beside me. Dr. Calyx, can I buy you a drink? I think we both need one. 30 minutes later, I found myself in a human establishment called the Broken Thruster, sitting across from Brennan at a corner table. She ordered something called whiskey. I ordered Keltheran mineral water, because I had seen what human alcohol did to non-human biology. So, Brennan said, taking a sip of her drink, "You think they are going to throw us in prison?" "Probably not prison," I replied. "More likely heavy fines, suspension of research privileges, and mandatory safety retraining." "Fun." She took another sip. "You know what the funny thing is? Back on Earth, I was a mining engineer. Spent 15 years drilling holes in rocks. Safe, boring, predictable work. Then I signed up for colony duty because I wanted adventure." She laughed. "Careful what you wish for, right?" "Do you regret it?" I asked. She looked at me, her eyes serious. "Not for a second. Those 2,000 people on that colony ship, half of them are families I know personally, kids I watched grow up. I have got my nephew on that station, Dr. Calyx. He's 7 years old. He likes drawing pictures of spaceships." She paused. "What kind of person would I be if I didn't try everything possible to save him?" "A rational one?" I suggested. "Rationality is overrated," she said. "Sometimes you need to be a little crazy." Before I could respond, alarms started blaring throughout the station. Emergency lights flashed red. The station's public address system crackled to life. All personnel. "This is Station Commander Vale. We have a priority distress signal from the mining outpost on Carvon 7. They are reporting seismic activity, catastrophic seismic activity. The entire asteroid is breaking apart. The 1,700 miners are trapped inside. All available ships report for emergency evacuation." Brennan was on her feet before the announcement finished. "How far is Carvon 7 from here?" 6 hours at maximum speed, I said, pulling up my datapad. "But the asteroid stability readings, oh no." "What?" "What?" "The asteroid is fragmenting faster than predicted. Current models suggest total structural collapse in 4 hours. Brennan's face went pale. 4 hours to get 1,700 people off an asteroid that's 6 hours away. Mathematically impossible, I said. Stop saying that, Brennan snapped. Every time someone says something is impossible, humans take it as a personal challenge. She tapped her comm unit. Marcus, Jamie, you reading this? Already running to the Defiant Hope, Marcus replied. But Lisa, we have got a problem. Our generators are still fried from the stellar push. We can make the trip, but we won't be able to help with the evacuation. What about the colony ship? Same situation. We burned out our gravitational systems. It will take weeks to repair. I was already calculating. Even if every functional ship in the sector responds, we don't have enough capacity. Standard evacuation protocols require 1 crew member per 15 evacuees. We would need at least 20 ships with full crew complements. How many functional ships do we have? Brennan asked. 8, I said. Maybe 10 if we count the cargo haulers. Then we need to change the protocols. No. Commander, you cannot change evacuation protocols. They exist for a reason. Dr. Calyx, Brennan said, her voice hard. I just watched humans move a star by ignoring the laws of physics. I think we can manage to ignore some evacuation guidelines. She grabbed my arm. Come on, we are going to the docking bay. 20 minutes later, I found myself on the bridge of the Meridian's Grace as Captain Torvas barked orders to her crew. Around us, 8 other ships were preparing for departure. The Defiant Hope, despite its damaged generators, was leading the formation. "Captain," I said, "even if we reach the asteroid in time, we cannot evacuate 1,700 people with our current capacity. The ships will be overloaded. Life support will fail. People will die. Then we make the ships carry more," Torvas said. "That's not how ships work." "It is now." She opened a ship-wide comm channel. "All hands, this is the captain. Strip every non-essential system. Cargo bays, research labs, recreation areas, everything becomes passenger space. Rip out equipment if you have to. I want every square meter capable of supporting life." Rexus looked at her. "Captain, that will void our ship's certification." "I don't care about certification. I care about those miners." As the Meridian's Grace jumped to faster than light speeds, I watched the crew transform the ship. Scientists became emergency workers. Research equipment was jettisoned into space. My own laboratory, my carefully organized workspace of 300 cycles, was stripped bare in under an hour. Dr. Tirish appeared at my side, looking apologetic. "Sorry about your lab, Calyx." "It's just equipment," I said, surprising myself. "We can replace equipment." She smiled. "You are starting to think like a human. That's not a compliment." "Yes, it is." We dropped out of faster-than-light travel with 40 minutes to spare. The asteroid loomed before us, a massive rock 5 kilometers across, visibly fracturing. I could see chunks breaking off, drifting away. The mining station clung to the surface like a parasite, its emergency lights strobing desperately. "This is the Meridian's Grace to Carvon 7 mining station," Torvas transmitted. "We are here for evacuation. Get your people to the emergency airlocks." A human voice responded. "This is Station Chief Robert Keene. Thank the stars you are here. But we have got a problem." The main elevator shaft collapsed. "We have got 1,200 people trapped in the lower levels. They can't reach the airlocks." "How deep are the lower levels?" 2 kilometers into the asteroid. "And the structural integrity is failing fast." "We have maybe got 20 minutes before the whole thing comes down." Marcus's voice cut through. "Chief Keene, this is the Defiant Hope. Is there another way to reach the lower levels?" "The emergency service tunnels, but they are too narrow for people to evacuate through. We'd need to cut a new passage, and we don't have time or equipment." "What about explosives?" There was a pause. "Commander, are you suggesting we blow a hole through 2 kilometers of rock?" "Yes," Marcus said. "That's exactly what I'm suggesting." "That's insane. The vibrations alone could trigger a complete collapse." "You got a better idea?" Another pause. "No." "Then let's blow some stuff up. How much explosive do you have?" For the next 15 minutes, I watched humans do what humans do best. They took a terrible situation, added high explosives, and somehow made it work. Chief Keene and his team planted charges along a carefully calculated path through the asteroid's interior. Marcus coordinated from the Defiant Hope, using their damaged but still functional sensors to map the structural weaknesses. Jamie ran the math, calculating blast patterns and propagation vectors. "Dr. Calyx," Jamie said, patching into my station, "I need you to double-check my calculations. If I get this wrong, we will collapse the entire asteroid." I looked at the numbers. They were wrong. The blast radius was too large, the timing was off, and the propagation angle would create a cascade failure. I recalculated, adjusted the blast sequence, modified the charge distribution. "Use these numbers instead," I transmitted. "You sure?" "No," I admitted. "But they are better than yours." "Good enough." The charges detonated in a carefully orchestrated sequence. I watched the seismic readings, my breathing tubes constricted with tension. For 3 seconds, nothing happened. Then a new tunnel bloomed through the asteroid's interior. a perfectly carved passage from the lower levels to the surface. It worked. Chief Keen shouted. The tunnel is stable. People are moving through now. The evacuation began. Ships docked at every available airlock, their crews working frantically to load miners aboard. The Meridian's Grace took on 300 people, far beyond our rated capacity. Bodies packed into every corridor, every room, every available space. Captain, Rexus reported. We are at 200% capacity. Life support is straining. Keep loading, Torvaz ordered. Captain, the systems will fail. Then we will hold our breath. 400 people. 500. The ship groaned under the weight. All personnel evacuated from upper levels, Chief Keen reported. Lower level evacuation is 70% complete. But we have got a problem. The asteroid is breaking up faster than projected. We have got maybe 5 minutes before the mining station tears apart. How many people are still down there? Marcus asked. 200. Maybe 250. Can we get them out in 5 minutes? Not through the tunnel. It's too narrow. People are bottlenecking. I pulled up the structural scans. The asteroid was fragmenting along 3 major fault lines. When it broke apart, anyone still inside would be crushed or ejected into space. 250 people. 250 lives. And then I had an idea. A terrible, stupid, absolutely human idea. Captain Torvaz, I said, what if we don't evacuate them through the tunnel? What are you suggesting, Calyx? The mining station has its own structural integrity field, correct? It's designed to maintain internal atmosphere, even if the asteroid breaks apart. Yes, for about 15 minutes. Then the power fails and everyone inside dies. What if we don't let the power fail? What if we use our gravitational tethers to grab the entire mining station and pull it free from the asteroid before it collapses? There was a long silence. Calyx, Torvaz said slowly. Did you just suggest grabbing a building with a tractor beam? Yes. That's the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard. I learned it from the humans. Marcus's laugh came through the comms. I love this guy. Chief Keen, can you get everyone into the main habitat module and seal it? Yeah, but you are serious. You are going to grab the station? Got a better idea? Why do you people keep asking me that? 3 minutes later, every remaining miner was sealed inside the main habitat module. The Defiant Hope and 2 cargo haulers positioned themselves around the mining station, their gravitational tethers humming with power. On 3, Marcus said. 1, 2, 3. 3 ships engaged their tethers simultaneously. The mining station groaned, metal screaming as it tore free from the asteroid's surface. Behind it, the asteroid finally succumbed to the internal stresses and shattered into 1,000 pieces. But the station held. Wrapped in gravitational fields, it drifted clear of the destruction. We have got it, Jamie reported. Station is secure. All personnel alive and well. And probably never going mining again, Chief Keen added. The trip back to the Coalition station took 8 hours. 8 hours of overloaded life support, overcrowded corridors, and ships that were one system's failure away from catastrophe. But we made it. When we docked, Station Commander Vale was waiting at the airlock with a medical team, emergency supplies, and an expression I couldn't quite read. Captain Torvaz, Vale said, that was the most reckless, dangerous, irresponsible rescue operation I have ever witnessed. Thank you, Commander, Torvaz replied. I wasn't finished. It was also the most effective. 1,700 people alive when all projections said they should be dead. She paused. The Council is going to have a collective aneurysm when they hear about this. The Council can file a complaint, Marcus said, walking past. We will be too busy saving people to read it. 2 days later, I found myself back in front of Supervisor Gormath and the Coalition Council. This time the chamber was packed with observers. News had spread about the Carvon 7 rescue. Humans throughout the sector were calling it a miracle. Gormath looked even more furious than before. Dr. Kalex, he began. In the span of 1 week, you have participated in 2 separate incidents that violated Coalition regulations. You moved a star. You ripped a mining station off an asteroid. You overloaded ships beyond capacity. You used explosives inside an unstable structure. He leaned forward. What do you have to say for yourself? I stood up, looked at the council, and for the first time in my 300 cycles of life, I truly understood what it meant to be human. I say that sometimes the rules are less important than the results, I said. I spent my entire career believing that the universe operated according to fixed laws. Gravity pulls down. Stars follow predictable paths. Ships have maximum capacity ratings. These were facts. Immutable. Absolute. I gestured to Marcus, Jamie, and Brennan, who sat in the back of the chamber. Then I met humans. And humans looked at those facts and said no. They said that gravity can be manipulated. Stars can be moved. Ships can carry more when lives are at stake. They taught me that the universe doesn't care about what should be possible. It only cares about what we are willing to try. Gormath's eye stalks quivered. Dr. Kalex, are you seriously suggesting we abandon scientific principles? No, Supervisor. I'm suggesting we remember why we have scientific principles in the first place. We study the universe to understand it. We understand it to predict it. We predict it to control it. And we control it to protect people. I looked directly at him. 3,700 people are alive today because humans refused to accept that saving them was impossible. If that's reckless, then I'm proud to be reckless. The chamber erupted in arguments. Half the council demanded punishment. The other half wanted to study what we'd done. In the chaos, I noticed Commander Brennan smile at me. Gormath called for order. It took 10 minutes to restore silence. This council, he said finally, will take a recess to deliberate. We will reconvene in 3 hours with our judgment. Those 3 hours felt like 3 cycles. I spent them in the observation lounge with the human crew, watching ships come and go from the station. You know, Marcus said, when I joined the space program, I thought it would be all about exploring new worlds and meeting alien species. Nobody mentioned I'd spend most of my time getting yelled at by bureaucrats. You did move a star, I pointed out. That tends to upset people. Worth it, though. He looked at me. Hey, Kalex. Whatever the council decides, I want you to know something. You are pretty cool for a non-human. That's possibly the strangest compliment I have ever received, I said. You are welcome. When we returned to the council chamber, Gormath looked tired. All 12 council members looked tired. Apparently, judging the impossible was exhausting work. This council has reached a decision, Gormath announced. Regarding the incidents at Carvon Primary and Carvon 7, we find that while numerous regulations were violated, the actions taken resulted in 0 loss of life and demonstrated extraordinary courage and innovation. He paused. I held my breathing tubes. Therefore, this council issues the following judgment. All involved personnel are hereby issued formal reprimands, which will remain on their permanent records. Additionally, all involved vessels must undergo complete safety inspections and recertification before resuming operations. Marcus groaned. Seriously? More paperwork? Gormath ignored him. However, this council also recognizes that the actions taken represent a new approach to emergency response operations. As such, we are establishing a new coalition task force dedicated to developing unconventional rescue protocols. This task force will be led by Captain Torvaz of the Meridian's Grace and Commander Marcus Reeves of the Defiant Hope. The chamber went silent. You are rewarding them? Someone shouted from the observers section. We are learning from them, Gormath replied. Like it or not, humanity has shown us that sometimes the best solution to an impossible problem is to try it anyway. He looked at Marcus. Try not to move any more celestial bodies without permission, though. The insurance paperwork is terrible. No promises, Marcus said. As the chamber cleared, I found myself standing with Dr. Teresh and Captain Torvas. Well, Torvas said, that could have gone worse. We could have been executed, I agreed. Exactly. I'm calling this a win. She turned to me. Kalex, I want you on this task force. We are going to need someone who understands both the science and the stupidity. I'm not sure that's a compliment, I said. It's definitely a compliment. 6 months later, I found myself aboard a new research vessel, the Horizon's Defiance. The name was Marcus's idea. The ship was a joint human coalition design, built specifically for emergency response operations. It had redundant systems, oversized cargo bays, and gravitational generators that could move small moons if necessary. More importantly, it had a crew that understood the most important lesson humanity had taught the galaxy. When someone says something is impossible, you have two choices. You can accept it, or you can say one more push. I was running simulations in my new laboratory, testing theoretical limits of gravitational manipulation, when Dr. Teresh entered. Kalex, we have got a situation. There's a colony ship caught in a decaying orbit around a gas giant. Standard rescue protocols say it's unrecoverable. I looked at her. How long do they have? 6 hours. And how long would a standard evacuation take? 8 hours. I smiled. It was a very human expression, but I'd been practicing. Then I guess we need to be unconventional. Plot a course. Let's show them what this ship can do. As the Horizon's Defiance jumped to faster than light speeds, I thought about how much my life had changed. I used to believe the universe was predictable, orderly, governed by immutable laws. I still believed in those laws. I just didn't let them stop me anymore. Somewhere in the cosmos, a star burned in its proper orbit because humans looked at stellar drift and refused to accept it. 1,700 miners lived and worked because humans turned an asteroid disaster into a construction project. 3,700 people walked and breathed and loved and lived because humans said no to probability. And I got to be part of it. The emergency alarm chimed. Time to save some people who were supposed to die. I headed to the bridge, where Marcus was already plotting rescue vectors and Jamie was arguing with the ship's computer about optimal approach trajectories. You ready for this? Marcus asked as I took my station. Ready? I replied. I'm calculating the mathematical impossibility as we speak. That's the spirit. Captain Torvas appeared on the view screen from Coalition Command. Horizon's Defiance, you are cleared for operation. And Kalex? Yes, Captain. Try not to move any planets this time. The Council is still processing the paperwork from the star. Understood, Captain. We will only move something if absolutely necessary. She laughed. Good enough. Torvas out. The colony ship appeared on our sensors, spiraling slowly toward the gas giant's upper atmosphere. 2,000 colonists aboard. 6 hours until they burned up in atmospheric friction. Standard protocols said it was impossible to save them. But I'd learned something important over the past year. Impossible just meant nobody had tried hard enough yet. All hands, I announced over the ship's comm system. This is Dr. Vorn Kalex. We have a rescue operation ahead of us. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be dangerous. By all mathematical probability, we should fail. I paused. So let's prove the math wrong. Stations, everyone. Let's do something impossible. As the Horizon's Defiance raced toward another rescue, another mathematical improbability, another chance to prove that humanity's greatest gift to the galaxy wasn't their technology or their science. It was their absolute refusal to give up. And as I watched my crew, human and non-human alike, prepare for the impossible, I realized something that would have shocked the younger version of myself. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. Because sometimes, when the universe says you can't save everyone, the only proper response is to look the universe dead in the eye and say, "Watch me."